Are we going up against something that we can't win? That is just kind of like, like it's you're trying to like push back against the wall. It's like you can't knock over a wall with your hands, kind of thing. I'm just wondering, like, is would our energy better be spent on, let's say, Jewish unity and understanding the diversity of the Jewish people within? And I'm just wondering, like, and is the whole anti-Semitic thing, like you're saying, despite anything we do, you think that there may very well be a strong increase in white supremacy, let's say, in the next decade?
So I'll start with the last question you asked, and that's that my firm belief is that the best way to prepare Jews to confront anti-Semitism or any threat that we face is to make strong Jews. So the more that the Jewish people understand the complexity of our identity and know how to communicate it amongst ourselves, then we're going to know how to communicate to others, and then we're going to be more prepared to respond to the threats that do face us, whether they're ideological threats, to come up with better ideas to beat bad ideas, or whether it's on the physical level in terms of actually training Jews to be able to respond to the physical threats of anti-Semitism. But look, I think that we're in a unique position right now because of the existence of the State of Israel, the revival of Jewish life, of Hebrew language and culture, the return of Jews from all over the world to give unique perspectives and come up with unique solutions to challenges. And I think that's also one of the reasons why anti-Semites are so pathologically obsessed with the Jewish state, because anti-Semitism inherently is a discomfort and a fear of Jewish power. Not Jewish power in the tropey anti-Semitic sense, but like legit the Jewish power to decide what it is that we are going to do, to define our future, right? And the fact that the State of Israel gives us that in a way which we've never had in the past, or at least haven't had for 2,000 years, that is the reason why there's this animus against Zionism, against the Jewish state.
So if I'm going to put words in your mouth. Tell me if I did it right. People want to control the Jews, and they don't want Jews to control their own destiny. Would you say that's true?
Yes, absolutely.
And Israel is just another reflection of Jews, all the more so want to control their own destiny. You said something interesting. You said something that made me think of this thing recently. I've been thinking a lot about just with the political debate recently here in Israel. I feel that you talked about, in order to fight anti-Semitism in particular, it's probably the best thing we do. And by the way, I totally agree with this. Is that make strong Jews, strong in Jewish identity, strong in Jewish education, strong in Jewish knowledge, strong in everything, and understanding, right, Jewish history, Jewish texts, etc. I think our greatest challenge is, as I kind of touched on earlier, is that the infighting between Jews, which is historical. I mean, I wonder if there are groups that are less unified in this sense than Jewish people. Everyone knows the Jews, two Jews, three opinions. But I think that we may have a problem in Israel that we're trying to shed the Judaism that you saying that we so need to fight anti-Semitism and replace it with Israelism. Not that I'm opposed to it by any means, obviously, but the shedding of the Judaism part is that in exchange. So, what are your thoughts on that?
So I agree with the first part, in that our biggest threat to Jewish sovereignty and Jewish freedom has always been infighting, has always been division within. Our greatest strength is, and what's so unique about the Jewish people is our diversity, not just in like physical appearance, but also in particular in our experiences and our ideas. That diversity enriches
Real diversity.
real diversity, right? Because look, I mean, physical diversity is also important, but also only in so much as that it is in a position from which you can then come up with good ideas, right? And it enriches the physical, enriches the metaphysical. But I would disagree in the sense that I'm concerned about Israeliness, consuming or taking the place of Judaism, because I think that what is
at the expense. Yeah, I just want to be very clear. I mean, at the expense of. I'm a huge, I'm a very proud Israeli, but it's ditch your Judaism and just call yourself Israeli. So to speak. And I fear that feeds into the anti-Semitism that those that want to destroy us and the Judeophobes want, because we're no longer controlling our identity. Now we're just another country in a sense. Go on.
Yeah, I would say that first and foremost, it's important that whenever you're evolving as an individual or as a collective, to respect the place that you come from. That being said, you can look at things that you've done in the past, whether it was a habit or a belief. You can say, you know what, that belongs to the past. Let me adapt. Let me evolve. but as long as it's rooted to who you are inherently. So right now, I think we're having a discussion about what that means, because there are aspects of the Israeli society, of Jewish Israeli society, that are really just trying to, throw us back to, thousands of years ago or hundreds of years ago, depending on the sector, and others that are just trying to radically change everything without a connection to the roots. And I think that what we need is something, this middle passage, right? This middle path that the Rambam, the Maimonides described, in which we look at where we came from, we appreciate our roots, but also we understand that Judaism of the future is not going to be the Judaism of yesterday. It's not even going to be the Judaism of today. And Israeli Judaism, this Israeliness, it's here because we need it as a people, and we need to appreciate what it is that it brings to the table, and to be open and flexible to what it's going to bring. It's going to be new, and it's for some of us unrecognizable.